and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to this Ascension update for the month of October, of course, and beyond. So let's see what I have prepared for this time. I have some notes, but this time it's very short because I just want to go deeply into the root of the matter of what is shifting for us here. So I call this episode, or this unfolding in its time beyond mission and into our source self. Why? Because so many of us who have been moving into this new mastery, and we had to face a lot of resistance to everything that we knew before and everything new that wanted to come through. So we had to walk through so many trials and tribulations in a way. And as trendsetters, as Ascension pioneers, not always it was easy because we had to let go of so many things. And I've shared with you before that during this whole summer, I've noticed that I was withdrawing my life force from everything so that I can truly move into what is authentic, and everything that was authentic would stay, and everything that was not would go. It would leave our reality, because I was shown that if we, as beings of comfort and creatures of habit, hold even to the tiniest percent of something that we feel, okay, we have to hold this space for this, we're making room for it, even just a little, even if it's something that we just considered as a memory for the past, something that was pleasurable in the past, or something that's familiar to us, we kind of leave a little bit of that space hanging, when in truth, what we really are is beings of infinite space. We have to leave room for nothing so that we actually are open to everything, because leaving room for nothing means we're actually open to everything. We're not excluding ourselves that way. So if you have been noticing this life force withdrawal for yourself, and now moving more deeper into this new, and which also includes living this vibrational energy, a one universal frequency, which is October. It's a 10, so it's a completion in a sense, and it's a destiny card, a wheel card in tarot. It's in a way coming somewhere, but it doesn't end there. So the ending and the new beginning are always the same. In Tao, it's the same. So this new rebirth, this phoenix radical shift was deeply felt for a lot of us. And as people and places and things, situations, whatever, we're leaving a reality, we've actually gotten deeper to what's true. Because to be the holders and speakers of truth does not mean now we need to stay with every situation, stay with every person, always support everything and everyone. So I've prepared this beautiful mantra because so many of you are moving into just being divine lovers of life. And I've been sharing about this for a while now, that this is a new step and it's a radical shift, and it might require us to leave other labels such as the guru, the sage, the teacher, the wise one, all of that. You know, we're already all of that. It's already encrypted. It's written in our life force, so we don't need to stress it out, because it's what is energetically there, it's self-obvious. What is not, so we don't need to stress things out. So if you're always saying, I'm here to help others, I'm here to support others, I'm here to, I don't know, guide others even, then a lot of times we're kind of like convincing ourselves and others who we are. But again, it can come from the role of the agenda. So true lovers of life are those, and we just read about that in Osho's books. Osho's book called About a Woman, and talks about Tantra and the way of living through Tantra, presently awake and alert. As you know, I always talk about it that way. So he shares about this, that true lovers who love so unconditionally are the true masters of this world. And you don't have to be a physical mother, you don't have to have a birth of a physical child to have this motherly nature develop within you. So it's an essence of you mothering all life. You're a parent for life, you're a life giver, and I talk about this as myself, as my true essence, as a creation pillar. But that as my essence or a role is a different thing. If my human self would engage in that as a role, again, it wouldn't be authentic. It won't come from a space of pure magic, which is just sharing my gifts of my soul with the world at large. So this mantra is, I refuse to be the teacher and guide as I embrace the divine lover of all life. What does this mean is, if you're naturally a guide, it's going to be naturally occurring through your partnerships, your relationships, the situation you're meeting, the people you're assisting, just by being in that essence. Instead of, so many people are wanting to become healers or teachers. They're starting their spiritual awakening, and all of a sudden they're like, I got a mission, I got to do something. And I love this YouTube video. It's called Blinkers Off, A Man Without Ego. There's this Indian sage speaking about this, and he says, well, no individual has this special mission, like special, you know, that's something we cling to. When people start to wake, they're always like, what's my special mission? I must be special. Well, you are just by being you, and nothing is special and everything is special in a way. So he says, only the whole truly has a mission. So when you serve the whole, you don't particularly serve or help individuals. You know, Osho also says help is an illusion. You can't help others. It doesn't even exist. It's an illusion we created, or as Krishnamurti, and I love him and I love his books. We've been reading quite a few his books lately. And he also says that we're no one's teacher. No one can be, because everyone has a completely different guidance and way of path of life. He always says, you know, when he invites people, he's like, let's think together. Let's think as one mind, and that's unity consciousness and the white brotherhood. And I get very appalled sometimes when I still hear people say, even if it's spiritually well intended, they say, well, let's pray in the name of Jesus, in the Jesus's name or Lord's name or whatever. You know, it's like the only words that are true are in the name of I am that I am, because that's our source self, that spark. So we're always still giving a little bit of power to that entity or being of light or whatever. Even if it is of the light, it's just brotherhood. Those of you who are coming into terms with your master, you're going to have to release even that. So for me, it's always like, why would I have to say it in someone else's name? It's me. It's Aurea. It's my essence. It's my I am within me. So what is really happening within this shift? And before I talk about this, I want to say about the few alignments. Finally, Mercury is direct now from retrograde. And we're taking what we learned from that mastery within the 9 frequency in September. We're really seeing things more clearly now. It's like a, ooh, you know, revelations coming out. And then 1 frequency is completion, because now we begin again. But we always do that anyway, you know, we always die and rebirth it. But we're preparing for a new year of a 1 frequency, so October is kind of like a setting stage for the next year of 2017. And the new moon on October 1st happens in Libra. It's about partnerships a lot, and it's kind of setting the stage for the new sacred partnerships. Watch my previous video when I talk about the magic of true divine union. But don't get me wrong, again, it's not about meeting a special person and that's it. And there's a lot of illusions still held in this world about this. And people want to be held in this illusion because they so desperately want to have this tight grip. What does it mean, the beloved? What does it mean, a special one? What does it mean? You know, all these things are now falling away. We need to dissolve that, because when the longing is gone, you mean that you've embraced these essences within yourself, and you became your cosmic beloved, which is a course I have. It's a mastery course called the Cosmic Beloved, which helps you to interact with that part of you. So it's kind of moving us away from those self-imposed limitations, and it's kind of setting the stage for the new way we approach life and partnerships, because when we say yes to life, we're actually saying yes to ourselves, because we are life. You know, sometimes we're passively waiting for others to make the first move, and we're afraid, always being the initiator. But a lot of us are born that way. We are full of life force. We're always going to be, in a way, initiating things, because we initiate them for our own reality. But when we do it for the way of serving life, we're doing it for the whole. So it's not just our reality cut off from everything. It's our reality within a greater reality. So if your life purpose is not to devote yourself to spirit and serving life, and you think, well, I'm just here to do something special, then you're still feeling an exclusion here. It's still not unity consciousness. And those of you who've really done that work, you will feel those first feelings of how does it actually feel to be in unity consciousness? How does it feel to serve within that? No longer feeling the need to be the way people expect you, or to help or assist the way people expect you. Because even those of us who are outwards like this, on YouTube and in the world of wide web, people still place these expectations and their own projections. I have a recent example when I shared a picture of me and someone on top of the mountain, and immediately, you know, people don't even ask. They just make an assumption. They say things like, oh, how your other half looks like. Oh, you're so beautiful. And they ask me why. You know, all these things. It's like, does it even matter? That's just my life. I just shared the picture because it's a beautiful picture. You know, it was a beautiful day. It was a day of perfection. And I'm noticing how the mind is so quick to assume and to jump to conclusions without asking. So if you're witnessing yourself this way, stop. Just for a moment, stop and ask yourself, but what am I I'm imposing my statement to someone, and I'm not even sure of the facts. So it's kind of like that thought versus the reality of it. We really need to know how to translate that, because we do make a lot of those projections. It's kind of like imposed energy. So we're just making a conclusion. What we see is what we get, but not always. You know, there's depth, and we need to be able to penetrate the consciousness to move into that depth. You know, just scratching the surface won't get you to your mastery. It's just how it is. So when I see that and people doing that, I'm always like, but why do we do that? What's the human mind doing that? It's because we want to see what we want to see. So we kind of like, oh, that must be this, or that must be it. We don't ask first. We don't make sure. We don't make sure of the facts, okay? So we will have 2 more lunations in this month, and as 3 lunations, so these months that start on the 1st with the new moon, they're very powerful. So it's already a 1 frequency. The first day begins with the new moon. What else do we want, right? It's really inviting us to go deeper. So it is a 1 frequency, new moon, Libra. It's a powerful activation in a way, because something that we activated during the eclipse and the equinox time is going to start to be more revealed to us. And it's the way we see interactions with others, the way we see how we're expressing ourselves with others. It's the way we commit to maybe asking others for help, or asking others, like saying, oh, I want to be with you, or I want to hang out with you, you know, do you want the same? And not fearing that rejection coming back, because it's not even personal if someone says no to us and they say, well, I would rather prefer this path. If we're kind of fixated on the role of being a guide and someone does not perform the way we thought we guided them into, again, we're going to create this expectation, and we're going to get this illusion. We're going to say, oh, I gave them all of that and they didn't shift, or something like that. We do that as humans, and when we just observe that pattern, the pattern is releasing itself already. It's so natural. But when we're holding our tight grip, we're not seeing that we're meant here to be as playful children of Source, divine lovers of life, sharing with each other when we're guided, how we're guided, in each moment, presented with a new experience. It cannot be based upon the blissful experience or pleasurable experience we hold somewhere from the past. Like Krishnamurti says, that doesn't exist. We're always hunting that feeling again and again. It's just chasing our tail, right? So there was this complete blank slate that we were presented with, and October is, we're going to feel it physically. We're physically going to feel like, even I have a new body, for example. I did so many, I was jumping into this stream of water here in this mountain gorge. I did so many purgings. I did so many baptisms, what I call them, my spirit baptisms, that I really felt like, wow, I died so many times, and each time you're stronger. So when we notice a contraction within our heart, and something's like, oh, you know, our body's so intelligent, it tells us when something's not aligned with us. And that's not a fear or projection. It's just, when you do it like this, you cringe. It's your body telling you, maybe you're still holding on to that label, which you're coming from in the relationship with another or a situation in life, and you're meeting them through that filter. Stop that. Observe and see how you can radically change your consciousness by expressing in a new way even. It's very simple, and yet we make it not be simple as humans. So the fact of the matter is that now in this beautiful energy unfolding, we're just wanting to share our magic. Beyond, oh, I'm going to guide you, I'm going to assist you, I'm here to help, you know. Self-love and love of all, when you see no more difference, when you can embody a state where there's no more difference between self-love and the love for all life and creation and all other beings in great compassion, then you are truly in unity consciousness. Not before. Before it's self-love, self-love. We all talk about self-love, and it's great. That's where it all starts. But when you're able to, that self-love you have reflected and expanded out to love for all, that's when you're actually starting to feel unified with all life. So what's the difference between guiding, helping, assisting, you know? And I really love what Osho says. Helping another is an illusion, because how can you help? It's their path. We can kind of pinpoint, we can kind of reveal things. What I like to do is when I'm with someone and I know things and I'm shown things, I just speak words of truth. Whether the other person would resonate and correspond with that, that's their choice. It's still their free will choice. But I cannot hold expectations around it. So I basically show them the mirror of their own higher version that already exists, because it's all timelines, right? We're choosing within those multidimensional facets of us. And I cannot be attached to what they would be choosing. I can just present them the biggest, highest version of what they can as their potential expand into, but I cannot stay with it as I'm the guide. It needs to unfold this way. You know, I love something I read in Dolores Cannon's books about her sessions, that a lot of people were holding her guilty and responsible for not having the healing they expected from her session, and they even blamed her. They said, oh, it's your fault, I didn't heal, this is all fake and phony. And she was so sad about it. And then one day she said she heard a voice in her head saying, your job, your responsibility is over the minute the client walks out of that door. It's no longer yours. And kudos to that, because it's so true. What is the difference of just sharing our magic? So It's not coming from a place of helping, assisting, needing to teach, and that still disempowers. We have to know that. So even way showing, I'm here to show others the way. I'm the Messiah. This complex, this is all false. So in this new blank slate revelation, a lot of you are already dissolving the New Age imprints. And I'm happy about that because there's a lot of illusions there, truly. Even about the beloved or the twin flame or all that. It's a lot of illusions and distortions there. And we like to hold on to them because then we think that's a reality, because the value of the reality itself. The reality is a constant shift because you're constantly shifting when you're truly soul aligned. Otherwise, you're entrapped in a certain belief, in a certain space and time. And instead of being a floaty bubble amidst and amongst everything. So if you're coming from a place of just by your example you're showing and you're already way showing without I am showing the way, then it's a different thing. So we can share a magic, but not from a space of needing to show someone the way or guide them into, I'm going to guide you into this, you know, then they respond differently and we're like disappointed, of course, because we're disillusioned, because that never works, okay? No matter how much wisdom we have, it's for us, it's for all life, but not have to be filtered in that way, right? Or we need a certain response to go that way. Those of you who want to be, I don't know want to be, but feel like you're ready to be true masters, you got to own your sovereignty, so you got to make sovereign choices. And people will always make them, sometimes more sovereign, sometimes less, but we can't do anything about it. We can't be held responsible. So recently I had my own shift from this YouTube world and sharing my articles or guidance. When I do that, it has to be spontaneous from the flow. It's no longer expected, like, oh, I need to do weekly guidance, or I need to do this video, I don't know how many videos per month, and it's all just like what? It's dissolving. So I'm being shown, and every transition takes a while. It's not like instant, right? Because physically sometimes as humans need lots of preparation. So for me, I feel my true soul calling, my true soul alignment is going to be now more authentic with the Life Force retreats. I'm going to hold a space for people to come and just be in my magical world and show them the gifts that I have that are natural, that are of the Elven path, and I call this the Elven Ascension. So if you want to be part of that, watch out for this month. This is going to start slowly unfolding, so stay observant, because a lot of you ask me, when are you going to do retreats? When are you going to, when can we visit you? Be patient, my friends. So this shift for me is something that, again, moves me into being more authentic me, because my life in itself is a source of inspiration just by me living it. And so when someone comes and shares the space with you, they have a choice whether they take responsibility to alter their reality if they want to move more into that path and be more guided with the Life Force, more connected, or they want to go back into the old. But again, that's no longer my responsibility. So when we do sessions and healings with others, it's still a bit of expectancy. People expect they're going to get a certain healing or something from it. But when you just share your magic with someone, it's different. It's unconditional, and it's an open space. It's unwritten territory. It's a new terrain. And people are needing to take that leap of faith, that jump. And when I met people, a lot of them loved to spend time with me. They were so excited. But they couldn't hold that yet to bring it into their own reality. So they were only able to be that way with me. But in themselves, in their reality, they shifted back very, very fast into the old ways of comfort. And, it's like they did not know that that needs application. So those of us who've done the shift, now instead of being these roles, we're just taking our mastery into life, into physical reality. So we're taking our mastery into real life, random people, random situations, just being love. Like I shared with you in the recent Grace Divine Love Softening Activation about our experience in the mountains for my birthday, when that lady, just by being in her presence, she was so happy, and she was just one of the normal people, she's just nothing about ascension and stuff, and she was just, her heart was opening just by being in her presence, and she clearly felt that, and she told us. So a lot of us are going to be called more to the environments when we can just share love with the people instead of just blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Yesterday I was crying actually because we read that paragraph from Osho's book about what's really being motherly, what's really having that divine mother essence within you, that you don't help people from the space of, wow, I'm going to make money on them, and we're going to help them transform, and I'm going to profit from it. You're actually doing that just by being you. You don't have any agendas. you're just having the offering for people to see what's real and what's not, beyond the illusion, beyond the matrix. And you give them the gift of new life. And a few years ago, my guides, they told me when I was asking, but what's really my mission? And the mission is not about the work you do, it's about the essence of who you are. And they said, well, you're a life giver. I'm like, what? What does this even mean? So then life had to show me. When I was with people, when I saw them, how they're shifting in my presence, it's like, oh, that's what it means. Because I really do influence people the way that maybe sometimes it's hard because they need to make some tough choices that afterwards if they're willing to really shift. But I gave them that push into the direction of a total rebirth. And where I live in all these waters and everything that I represent, that represents me as the pure reflection of me in my physical surroundings, and that correspondence does its natural work. It's really natural. So for you who are feeling that yourself, that you just want to share from something you really love doing, and for me it's mountaineering, it's being in nature, it's like the elven way. I mean, the elven way is not just about having a certain wisdom, you know, elves are wise beings, of course, but it's about also bringing the elven essence into my physical reality. I live an elven life in all ways, in nature, the way I eat, the way I do art, everything. Elven angelic, I call it. But anyway, it's not just my consciousness, it's a consciousness reflected within my form. So when this is physically expressed, I can physically shift people just by being in my presence. So I'm really hoping and really excited that this chapter can, with this one universal frequency, begin for me. I had some issues with the material, especially during the Mercury retrograde. So I'm hoping this shifts faster now and I'm able to put that out. And I will, of course, let you know. Everything will be shared and posted when it's time for that, okay? So what else is new? In a way, we can feel now almost like chameleons, you know, so it's a lot of the essences we were gathering. And I also have a course on that. It's called Multidimensional Ascension. Both of these courses, the Cosmic Beloved and Multidimensional Ascension, can come in one package. That's the reduced energy exchange if you get both. It's super powerful. I know not everyone will get the things I'm talking about there, but those of you who are more advanced, I'm sure it can benefit from that, because it will open your perception to a completely different reality of why you're even here ascending. You know, it's much deeper what I share there when I share these videos. So get the courses if you really wish to expand on that note. I truly recommend it, especially within the one frequency, because I've been doing these courses, not for myself, because I already know that I've been doing it for those of you who are really moving into that. And as a volunteer soul, I really appreciate when people are open to that. It makes my heart sing when people are expanding that way. That's my biggest passion, is to watch people blossom into who they really are and their greatest self and their new gifts and their magician self. It's like, wow, to me that's the gift in itself. Watch them blossom. And yeah, it's just this rebirth. So even when I say the words volunteer, right, again, they're not supposed to be labeled. So you're volunteering, and just by being here, not volunteering, now I'm a volunteer, I need to do everything for free. That's a different energy altogether. So please don't misunderstand when I say that. Even the work I do here in the videos, a lot of times, you know, just because it's free, because it's not you pay for it and then you watch the video, people take it for granted. They think you're always going to be here and doing that. But if I have no interest coming from you and I don't have any support, like even financial donations, sharing feedbacks, then it's empty. The energy does not help to sustain this for the whole. So it's not self-obvious, and it's not just being taken for granted. So if you do feel you're being supported by my videos in your own ascension path, please do feel guided to reciprocate, because then it gives me the proper feedback to know that there's interest, that there's more, that you want to grow through this, what I have to share. Because, like I said, it's not just for me, it's for the whole. So this completion, okay, let's get back to that. It feels like, almost like you get all the colors and all of a sudden it's all white. That's the blank slate. So all rays as in one. And that's my work of service. I work within the white ray because it completely purifies, it disintegrates the old. And watch out for my video about the purpose of a creation pillar. It's almost 1 hour video long. It's about different scenes from the Alps. They're truly invigorating. They're very life force activating and generating. But it's also my sacred writings and activations about what it truly means, or the blessing you can receive from a creation pillar, to have a greater understanding what's happening on the planet and why these beings such as myself are even here. And this is my gift to all, and it's a part of the setting the stage for the new with my retreats, because they're formed from that space of being a creation pillar. So all these rays coming together as one unified whole, they do affect our body as well. So I've written down this, that our ascended mastery body, right, how it feels like. For those of you who really been embodying the soul, that means drawing it into your physicality, you might feel more invigorated by life, full of life. But at the same time, you're now encoded with life force more. So that means your body is way more intelligent. I've shared about this before, but if you, just in case you haven't seen it, I'm reiterating it here. So when the soul is embodied, then this life force is fully encoded. It's not just partially encoded, it's fully encoded. So I'm really hoping to get the course out about soul embodiment in a practical way to help people see how you're actually doing it. So our body is, those of you who've done the shift, is beyond intelligent now, and it knows what it knows. So even if there's something coming to you as an illusion or something false, or people hiding or having these masks, you will just know it. Your body will cringe, or it will be so obvious to you when something won't be right. Or even yourself, when you're in your own illusion and when something isn't authentic to you, you'll be like curled up, and you're like, ah. So instead of saying, am I in judgment and this and that? No. It's the encoding of your life force telling you, look deeper, look beyond. It's not all as it seems to be. So illusions can't stick on us for long anymore. The light body and physical body are now the plus. That means the light body merged with the physical body, not just this or that. Before we perceive the ascension as moving into our light body, leaving our physical body behind. But those of you who know and are working for your mastery, longevity, I had a video about this, watch it, it's a few videos back. Then it's this and that now. It's no longer this or that, but it's this and that. It's light body and physical body merged as one. And in October, you will feel it more. You will feel more alive, because especially during the eclipse, we've received new codes, and they were already, as I was shown, the codes for the new year ahead, and we do tend to integrate them. Our bodies are a bit slow, you do know that, because our bodies represent the creation part of who we are, not just the source spark, but it's the creation aspect, and the creation develops. Like love in our human form, it develops and grows. It's not just like instant. The feeling is instant, but how we embody it's like it's a process. So how this affects these new evolutionary partnerships. So while I go ahead a video about new soul evolutionary partnerships, people coming together for something that's beyond just, like, okay, we need each other, we reflect something, we learn, we go our separate ways. There's going to be more and more of that, and Jupiter moving into Libra denoted that, and now we have a new moon at the beginning of the month in Libra. So it's really about that. So we have to move beyond the norm of anything we have ever known or held within us as a belief previously, within our imagination, vision, or an idea. The ideal versus the real, that's what I'm talking about. So sometimes we might have a relationship and you have all the signs and visions and dreams, whatever, and people telling you stop and giving you extra messages, and like, wow, so many messages, what is this, right? But then there's also the knowing part of you that is going to supersede all of that. It's like all of those visions and dreams and all culminated, as synthesized as one. And that knowing is not just your higher self, but it's your human intelligence now that tells you, okay, you might have an ideal, but is that an actual reality? Look at the situation, how it is. How does it present itself? For example, you meet someone new and you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited, they're beautiful, they're perfect, blah, blah, blah. Of course, we fall in love on a soul level when we truly do. It's always on a soul level. But is there engagement and commitment and a connection that is compatible? We will see through allowing life to show us instead of projecting from that, wow, I have that vision and idea. And a lot of people are doing that in the twin communities. They meet someone and they reflect a certain aspect, and that aspect within them is still so strong. That's all they filter the reality through. That's all they project to, and that's all that they are emanating from in their reality. So that's all they become, and it's stagnant, and it's non-moving. So we have to let it go. So we have to see every situation and person in our life and say, but what is it really like in a grounded sense? What am I seeing with my physical eyes, with my body responding? Is that person even reciprocating the energy or the love? Or, and I'm just like, ah. It's like I told you with the photo. Everyone's like, wow. And I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't say anything here. It's like full of conclusions and assumptions. And I'm just saying, as masters, as above, so below, as within, so without. So it does mean see the reality. It's important. The angels always remind me, be grounded. You know how many times I get the grounded card? It's like telling you, see the things as they are now. No, these are wishful desires, wishful thinking. Of course, our desires they're coming from our visions. They are that utopian part of us that will eventually become a reality. But these partial steps and partial guidance, let it unfold. Let life speak to you. Let it show you through these signs. This is what you wish to see, what you want to see, but what is real in front of you right now, okay? So this is how we let go of that. And it's a grounded reality, which means vision versus material embodiment. The only true material embodiment is the source embodiment, soul embodiment you're doing. And when you come into your own source embodiment, you will feel it because you're just going to be so full of life. You won't project, you won't hold those agendas, beliefs, roles. You're just going to be like a fool in tarot, right? You get the completion of the 21, the world card, and then you're full again. And you're cool to fall in love, to share your magic with the rest of the world. So it's an example given here would be guidance, like messages you're receiving versus current reality. Check your fact, always. That's not mental. It's not like I have to analyze it, right? It's just, you see reality how it is, how people are responding to you. That shows you where the energy is. That shows you where the vibration is. And the vibrational embodiment shows you where the consciousness is. That's it. It's so simple. And we always cry because our expectations are disillusioned and we're not always met by what we think we're going to have as an experience. Is because ourselves we're not aware enough. And we blame the other. They weren't like they told me they're going to be. Well, because you're projecting in the future. Someone tells you, okay, well, I'm hope, or I wish I would do that for you. It's in the future. They're not doing it now. So what's that tells you about the union? There is no union now. There's a partial union, and everything is always at a partial unfolding stage. But it's not something to chase, or it's like this perfection in a pedestal. But it's something that shows you that you have to more align with yourself. So if that's your choice, you're going to base your reality on aligning with your soul and making the choices for you. So I have these words written here. When the love for truth and self-alignment grows, we awaken the one within us that truly knows. Powerful words, very simple words. Through that, fears are just falling away naturally. It's just like projections gone, roles gone. Just gone, like this water now is just falling. It's just like purging me, like just being as a flowing being. So last thing to say here is, if you haven't yet gone through this blank slate, October is then perfect. If you haven't done this work in September, do it now. 3 powerful activations, light activations I have for physical ascension, for divine gateway of divine mother's love, and for the alignment of your embraced mastery within, your ascended mastery. So these are shared, links are down below. And Cosmic Beloved, I really recommend at this time, especially at the time of the relationships and Jupiter being in Libra. So throughout the whole year, because people are still old in their relationships. When I look at them, they're still mostly living these old concepts. And that's why I created a course, to really get you to the fact of the matter. But when I'm looking at most of the consciousness, people are still not ready. So people are mostly interested in who gets coupled up, who's with who. Oh my God, it's like we are so obsessed with the outside and with the appearances, but we don't want to admit that part of ourselves. It's okay. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying we need to witness it and say, wow, I am shallow sometimes, or wow, I am on the surface many times. Oh, I do look out at others and it's none of my business, or I do make assumptions and projections, and that's fine. I love myself. I'm soft with myself. I'm gentle. You know, do the softening through divine love activation that we did with my mom a few videos back. It's so releasing, so soothing, and so nurturing for ourselves. And again, I would like to say thank you if you are guided to support my work. As I said, this shows me that this work is being supported. If it no longer will be supported, then eventually I will also have to stop the videos, because this is how it is. You know, you have to see that it has value, that it's that people have value, that it has value for them. Otherwise, it's just like, oh, thank you, bye. Thanks, but no thanks, you know. It's like we all need to show where our value is, not take things for granted. So if you're guided to reciprocate energetically, thank you so much. This shows where the life force is, because sometimes money is really good. It shows you where the energy is either moving and flowing or stagnating. And that shows you maybe it's time for a new course and a new direction. And we'll see about that. We'll really see about that. So far, that's my message for us. Let's not take anything for granted, and let's take everything as real, and let's show our love and appreciation and honoring for everything. So thank you, and for your feedback as well. I love you all so very much. Enjoy this month of October of new beginnings, of partnerships, radical shift in consciousness, if you're willing, if you're open, and lots of joy as well, because it does activate that joyful part of us when we are aligned. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful month, and I'll see you soon. I love you so very much. Love, wisdom, and power. So greetings from the Crystal Cave here in our beautiful Alps, where I wish to record this final passageway of the video. I felt this was the proper space. I come here a few times a year, not much, because you have to kind of walk, on the hill, and you kind of gather around before the cave entrance, which is usually just open to guided tours. But around the cave, and I've explained to you this before, crystals kind of tend to fall down through the mountain scree. And you can kind of find them through going through the gravel and things like that. So I bought a big one today, which was more like a geode. I'm gonna give this one as a gift to someone. And kind of tiny geodes like this, but there's also usually there's like points, and I use them for my crystalline art. And usually people who get these crystals, when I get feedback from them, it's interesting because most of them say that they feel an activation just by looking at the crystals. So I feel a very strong tingling sensation whenever I'm here, because of course, inside this cave, there's like a massive diamond of the calcite, golden calcite crystal. It's amazing. So you can just feel that radiating, and it's really intense. So I felt, because this #1 frequency of October is so explosive in a way, it's so expansive, that it's like a proper way for me to bring the energy of the crystal cave for us, because it does feel like we're vehemently, or I don't know how to say it, we're entering into this new space. So I felt like to kind of hold the crystal companion like this, to hold the frequency for us. And left hand is always for receiving. So when I do any kind of work of, I call it channeling from I am, whatever kind of level, multidimensional self I'm sourcing at the moment, I'm just surrendered to it. I don't think too much. So my first idea was to bring my singing bowl here to the cave, but it's kind of challenging, and I don't wish to break another bowl because I have two, only big one and small one, and I already broken the big one, and it's now glued together. It's still working, but it's not intact so entirely. But oops, see what happens. You talk and stones fall out of your hands. They're really strong. So I want to say one thing before I give one quick channeled message and toning, as I kind of like to do at times when I'm guided. I want to share with you, when you go to my crystal page, right, and there's several products I have there. You can just get the crystals or some of the products that I make from the crystals. And I really wish, and I'm called to doing more of that art, because I feel in a way I'm a part of this sacred space. I'm a guardian to this space. And it's like people want to I want to get this, but it's not about that. It's like I use all of these stones to anchor the light, to grid the light. So it's not like, oh, my precious, like in Lord of the Rings with Gollum. In a way, it is my precious, but it's meant to be used for greater service. So I love to, the vibration that I hold, which is of the white ray of unity consciousness, goes in the stones and everything I do. So when you get the stone, you don't just get the stone, right? You can get crystals anywhere at any shop, but people are usually feeling what I embody myself, because crystals tend to respond to the subliminal frequencies that we kind of encode them with, and it's all just transferred through our soul awareness. It's not like it's just look at the crystal, it's like meditating with it, I'm just telepathically transmitting this. It's just, it happens on the essence level. So that's why I always get such great feedback from people. Some people tell me just recently someone shared that they fall asleep with their pendulum, that I have pendulums there too. So it's just the energy that I embody, this great peace and wisdom and tranquility and soft grace presence is just put there and in all of my art. So visit my page. Recently I updated some of my art, and I'm still about to, products on my page. And all of these products are meant to bring the aspect and the essence of grace. So I feel October, in a way, does hold this platform for many of you who are now really wanting to live more through grace, not just by getting more data and information and knowledge, but that you're getting this awareness that it is all about the embodiment of grace, that this is the new Divine Mother template for us this time. I kind of really want to do this. I don't know why, for some reason. It's like the opening of this space, which is really, it's subliminal. It's very essence-based, and yet we're feeling it more and more of the late. So this crystal companion will be in my left hand as I'm going to bring through some of the energy. I know that everything that I do is always encoded. So even the places that I put in my in my videos, and there's an upcoming video after this one, which is about the purpose and mission of a creation pillar, me being one of them. That's why I channel this information, because I know what it's about. And henceforth I receive it the way I do. So it's a bunch of beautiful scenery from the Alps with the channeled information about what does it really mean to be a creation pillar, and how can we receive a blessing, how can you receive a blessing from the creation pillar, so that you can more align with your life of grace. And I call this the angelic essence, the angelic being. You know, people often say, I'm an elven soul too, and, you know, have this energy, or I'm a wizard, I'm all these things. And yeah, you know, we all hold an essence of that. But to really be an elven soul, to live it as an embodiment, for me, what it means that my life also reflects that. I live as a mountain elven, and I live that way. I mostly live outside in nature. That's where I am. That's where you can find me. And that's why my new chapter is going to be all about these retreats and help people activate this elven essence within them. It's like what I call elven ascension. So I don't know, I can't stop looking at this. It's so hypnotizing. I hope you can receive the energy from this beautiful piece. I think I'm going to put this one in our kitchen, like in the middle, because you know, oftentimes we do things, but we don't do it always with full awareness, with grace. You know, even when people they create a lot of food, right, and they put a lot of energy in the creative process of making it, but then how they eat is like we used to do that sometimes. We watch a TV show and we're eating next to it. I'm like, it just doesn't feel good anymore. Like everything we're doing now needs to elevate and reflect that state of grace of who we are. So yeah, no more talking. Let's do the walking. So let's bring through a message for all of us to support us on this part and segment of our journey, and let's see what comes through. Okay. A lot of what is happening right now at this time may feel very confusing for a lot of souls in the process of ascension, because it's something that hasn't been done before. We may all reflect upon many various beautiful teachers that have walked upon this planet, and yet each one of them only carried a sparkle of the whole, because the truth is always written within the whole. So the more that we access this record memory for each moment and not carry anything of the past and previously known to us with us anymore, and this blank state of our new unity consciousness, the more we can actually feel that life is no longer supposed to feel like a struggle, like hardship, like learning lessons even. Life is meant to get easier, but in the end, it's us, it's you who have to make that happen. And when we make that happen for ourselves, we actually put this sacred space for all to walk into that essence. So in a way, it's a mystery. Life is supposed to be a mystery. Life always was a mystery. And the less that we try to always understand it and kind of bring it to those various pieces of what makes sense to us and what doesn't, the more cohesiveness it will actually receive, the more of that grace we will create. So many questions are falling away at this time. And a lot of you might be wondering what's happening. I don't feel the same interests anymore. I'm not even guided to watch certain things or listen to certain information. Why is that? Am I no longer spiritual now? The whole essence of spirituality is now being carried forth into the living creatrix of our new earth, which means that whoever we meet, whatever circumstance we are standing within, we are supposed to bring that ascended, descended light into that, through that. It's no longer an effort. It's no longer like I'm trying, I'm guiding, I'm helping, I'm assisting. It's more about I'm being me, and people are responding much faster to that. They're much more open to that because it comes from a space of meeting others through unity, not from a position of being a hierarchical figure in a way that's above something or someone. And even though you might not be approaching others as a beautiful soul that is here to serve life in creation that way, others might feel that way because they still kind of sometimes hold defensive mechanisms about what it means to receive a teaching or blessing from someone else. So in a way, people want that, but when they're about to receive it, they often associate it with something, and ego sometimes takes the path of the pride and not really willing to accept as much as we're being offered. So in a way, it's like You can be offered a diamond, but if you believe you only deserve a zircon, for example, you're still going to receive only that. You're not going to receive the whole diamond. So the mission now is dissolving into the essence of what was spoken as being a divine lover and simply carrying the essence of that diamond. And a lot of times coming into contact with others made you feel less than that because they weren't always ready to receive the whole package of what you had to offer. And how sometimes this can be felt was like, oh, people don't play the way I like to play, or they're not participating or engaging with life the way I have so much to offer. And sometimes we want to give them the whole world. We know what we've integrated and what we've achieved, but when people will start to awaken to this new reality, they will have to also go through the same circumstances that will be their own. And yet for a human to walk into the new earth, they really have to integrate. They have to understand the coming together of everything that ever was for them, what was a part of their reality, and in a way what's leaving them. So we can't help with that part. We can only be the steady pillar of what means to be in through the threshold. So if there was a stage when we were holding with ourselves, with one foot still on the bridge and the other foot through the bridge and into the new, now we're ready to take that foot off, because we know that from this higher space we still get to assist, but it's in a new way, and it's really more effortlessly. And it occurs through just accepting that we don't have to anymore take a few steps back to serve others from where they are, but we can be where we are and meet them still in equality. That is something that was very hard to establish for eons of time. And yet, as a few first brave ones kind of like say, yes, this is possible, the possibility eventually becomes reality. So there's this magnitude of trust that there will always be something new in creation. So do not seek to compare with how mastery is supposed to look like, how a master should supposed to look like. What does it even mean to be a master? Allow spirit, allow life to show you through your own unique spark of what it means to be the master of you, of your reality, that also then moves into the reality of the whole. So it's very simple in a way. The more you know that things are dissolving and the more simple you feel, the more blank you feel, it's not that you're lost. It might feel like that to the confused mind that always wants more and more information and more experiences, but you know that you've gone through so much. There's so many experiences already passed, and you now seek to be in the experience of you that merely is experiencing you as you. No longer pursuing so many things and experiences and even relationships. There's like a narrowing down happening, which assists with filtering, but not filtering through the mind, but filtering through what is truly aimful and what is truly purposeful, and getting the attention and focus there. So to be devoted to flow of life does not mean now we aimlessly wander off and do nothing and we just wait, passively wait and think, okay, enlightenment is just something that happens, or it's at the other extreme, it's a goal we have to achieve. We simply find the middle spot of embracing the mastery which already is, and the truth that already is, without needing to seek it so badly. And those of you who've accomplished that state in a way that it's not an accomplishment, but you've integrated that space of tranquil mastery in your own domain, you're now going to be willing to offer that to the whole in a new way. So even the circumstances or products you were creating to assist the whole are now also going to need to shift and move. And do not be afraid, because there will be first initial stages of that, because of course people are still seeking themselves so much in this spirituality, which is just a lot of times an external means, but it's not what really is. Like great masters already taught, it's something that gives you this current state of upliftment, but not necessarily the full integration. So you're going to be those who are going to be showing that to this new world of what it means to have this constant going. It no longer has to be this. It was like this for so many times, because for us to eventually get to this, right, to this flow, there had to be the integration of this. So now the union feels more like this, you know, not like those grandiose waves and then they descend again, but it feels more like that peaceful state. And for many, that might feel foreign, Because to be at such peace, to have so much going on all the time, it might feel foreign. So we still want to cling on to that. But the whole idea here is that ascension now is effortless. It's embracing life as we go through life as life itself. And it's moving through the pace that's currently being presented to us in this moment. So be it, and so it is.